Today we're going to take a look at MailerPress, a new plugin for WordPress from the people behind SEOPress. Now MailerPress is a plugin for WordPress that allows you to use this as an email marketing platform. There are two versions, the free version and the premium version. Now the free version gives you a lot of things and you can download and try this for yourself, but we're going to specifically look at all features that are available inside the free and the premium version. The reason I want to talk about this today is because they have a lifetime deal on for Black Friday for the next 5 days. This is going to give you the full unlimited premium version for $99, and that's going to give you unlimited sites, unlimited contacts, and unlimited campaigns. The unlimited sites does have a limitation of 100,000, but let's be brutally honest about it. If you can't make your money back on a $99 investment with 100,000 websites, you're doing something wrong. So now we've seen the pricing, let's take a look at some of the features that it has. Now I've installed the plugin and I've activated the free and the premium version. So I'm going to come into MailerPress. Inside here, you can see this is our kind of admin dashboard. This gives us an overview of our campaigns, our subscribers, or our contacts as they're called, date ranges, and so on. And then on the left-hand side, all the different options we have available to us to create our campaigns, manage our audience, and so on. So as you can see, I've got a subscriber inside here. This is just a test subscriber. So we take a look at our contacts. You can see there's my contact. You can see what list they're associated with, any tags we've applied to them, their subscription status, how they opted in, their name, and so on. So some basic info here. And quickly to give a quick TLDR, tags are used to segment the information inside your list. Now in this example, I use one list, and in most use cases, I only use one list. That's going to contain all of my subscribers. Then I'll break things down based upon the tags that we're going to use. So this is the nice way of being able to do it. So you can tag it, you can create multiple lists if you want to, how you want to organize it. Then inside here, you can see we can import contacts from a CSV, we can export, we can add a contact manually, we can edit any existing contact, we can preview the information about that contact and find out more info, an overview, an insight into the performance, how many links they've clicked and so on, and any notes you may want to apply. Then you'll see we can filter things based upon subscribe status, unsubscribed, and so on. We can open this up and choose what we want to see and in what order we want to see it. So maybe you don't care about the ID, or you do, you care. You can switch it on, you can switch it off. You can turn on or off any of this information, and you can sort it in ascending or descending order based upon whatever you want to choose from this drop-down list and the number of items you want to see per page. All pretty simple and self-explanatory. You've also got this filter option so we can see the lists and the tags, so we can see more information about our contacts. And finally, you can switch between a table or a grid view, depending upon how you like to operate. I prefer the table view. Then you've got your segmentation. So if we open this up, we can create custom segments. So you can see I've created a segment that specifies that they are students, so they have to have the tag student. And if you want to create a new segment, you can do that very easily. Click on new segment. We'll give it a name. Choose the operator, whether you want to use and or. Add a condition. So we'll say, first of all, that they've got to be contact is a student, and we'll add a second condition in, and we'll say that their subscription status equals subscribed. And we now have a custom segment. Click add, and you can see there's our custom segment. So we can create segments and use these when we send emails out and so on. You've also got contact lists, so you can create additional lists if you want to. Again, like I say, I prefer to use just one. And the tags, you can see we've got a couple of tags inside here. Let's jump into campaigns. And again, you can see we've got the filters across the top. We can open this up, choose what we want to see inside here. So as your campaigns start to grow, you can filter things, you can sort things in whatever order you want. And you also, again, got this, the campaign type. We can add a new campaign, give it a name, subject, choose the list it applies to. In this case, we've only got one, and say start composing email. Then you've got three options here. You can create a blank email based upon this basic structure. You can use one of these kind of placeholder templates, or you can open up the template library and you have a bunch of different templates inside here that you could use as a starting point and then completely customize should you want to, or use them as they are with your data. For this example, let's say we're going to use one of these, a default template. We'll say use this starter, and there's our template. Now you'll notice that this looks very similar to Gutenberg or WordPress Core or full site editing, whatever it's currently being called this week. And that's because the key thing here is this operates in a very similar fashion. It's very native to full site editing. So as we see the new WordPress dashboard updates roll out in maybe 2035, then this is going to look integrated into that setup, which I think is the right way of going about it. And it actually makes a lot of sense inside this context. So let's have a quick look. First things first, let's focus on the right-hand side. You can see this is using the styles. Now, if you've used full site editing, you'll know what styles are. So if we browse these styles, they're predefined fonts, typography, color, those kinds of things. And we can create our own, or we can use default ones inside WordPress itself. So for example, if we wanted to use this afternoon theme, you can see we can select it. It'll pick up the color scheme. Choose midnight, picks up the color scheme. You can see the text, the buttons, all those things change accordingly. Let's put this back to dusk. So now we've seen how this works. Let's go back out of here. You've got general settings, so we can set up the width of the email. So we could set this to be 650, for example, and you can see things scale accordingly. So that's quite nice. Set it to 650. Typography settings, so you can set your text, your headings, your buttons. So if we come in, you can see all the options we're used to are inside here. Let's say we want our typography to be a little bit bigger. You can say large, for example, or medium, whatever you want to set it to. And then finally, if we come back out of here, you've got your colors. As you can see, we've got our background color. You can click, and we've got recently used colors, theme colors, and email colors. And obviously, you can click inside here and create your own custom color, which will be added into the recently used section. So there's the first part of it. Now, if we take a look on the left-hand side, things are broken down to the three things you're used to seeing inside full site editing: blocks, patterns, and images. Blocks are basically the building block elements, so things like text, wrappers, headings, and so on. Patterns are pre-designed templates. So if we come and take a look at all, you'll see there's one inside here, which we can easily drag and drop in. And if we come and take a look at images, there's some kind of pre-set up images inside here. So let's go back to our blocks, and let's say we wanted to add something of our own in. You'll notice that we have the query option. So all the basics are here, and I think they're pretty self-explanatory. But the query is where things actually get quite useful. You can use this to pull in data from your website. So it could be posts, pages. If you're using WooCommerce, for example, when we have custom field support, we'll have the ability to be able to pull in custom data from custom post types. So you can create more useful templates here that'll pull in the relevant data from content added to your site. So if we pull this query in, let's say we want to pop this at the bottom. There's our query. So now we can choose our model. And model is basically just the template for the query loop. Let's say we choose this one, the image and excerpt. You can see that's now dropped that in there. Obviously, it isn't set inside here, so we need to customize the colors and so on, which is very, very easy. If we come over to the left-hand side, you can see there's our query, our post template. Make sure we've got this selected. We can come over now and we can customize this a little bit. So we may want to say we want to put a border radius in. So we'll say we'll put 8. Kind of matches what we've got above. Background color, we'll set this to be white, so we see what's above, and we'll set these up as well. So we'll set 10 on the left and the right, 20 at the top's fine. So now we've applied some padding to this. We've got some styling inside there. No images showing because I don't actually have one associated with the Hello World post, because this is a clean copy of WordPress, but it will pull the images in from your featured image. And then you can easily come in and start to customize this. So we open up our post template, expand this out. There's the various different things: our featured media, post title, excerpt, read more, and so on. And if you come over to the right-hand side, we can choose posts or pages, whether it's automatic or manual. You come in and you can choose how you want to order them. If you want to use taxonomies, we can search through taxonomies, the tags, categories, and so on. Any authors, the limit, so you say we only want to put 2 inside here, so the 2 latest posts maybe, for example. You can see how we can start to use this then and create this kind of custom loop inside here. And if we want to add a bit of space in between the two of these, we can come back over to our blocks, grab a divider or grab a spacer, for example, pop that in between. There's our bit of space inside there, and everything is controllable inside here like we're used to seeing it as part of full site editing anyway. So there's everything set up. We can click save and preview, or save a draft. So save that. You can preview this. We can say preview and send. So this is what it's going to look like. Check it on mobile, make sure it looks good. If you want to make changes, again, you absolutely can do. You can preview from here, so we can send it over what it looked like to a particular email address and so on. So it'll simulate that. And then we've got sending mode. Select how you want to send it to lists and tags or custom segment. If we've created a custom segment, you can search for that. So there is our custom segments, our student, subscribe students, and so on. So we'll say that one. You can set up the form, the to, the subject. You want to schedule it. All the things you would expect to see inside an email marketing platform. You can automate it. You can send a test out if you want to, which you should do. If you want to automate it, you can see exactly when you want to do it, so a frequency. So you may want to have something, you add content to your blog, for example, or your website every single day, every single week. You may want to send out a kind of email that has those latest posts or content. You could schedule this, use that query loop like we've just seen, and have this sent out automatically every single day, week, whatever. So let's quickly check out the AI integration, how we can use AI with the platform. Now, it is worth bearing in mind that you do have to have a paid ChatGPT account or Google Gemini to get the API access and then put that in. We'll take a look at that a little later. But let's see how it works. Let's say, for example, we want to change this text. We want to sort of put something inside here. We can click to open up the context bar. And then you'll see we've got this little sort of star icon. If we open this, this is the Ask AI option. Now, there's two different variations of this. You've got this for text like we're seeing here. So I've used my OpenAI API, but you can also use Nano Banana if you want to work with images. I don't have that account set up, so I don't have access to that. But let's try it out. So we'll ask you to create a simple welcome message. So we'll give some context. Obviously, you're used to AI by now. Prompt it with what you need. Let's click on send and see what it comes back with. We now have our welcome message. You can see there's all our information. So welcome to the Mastering MailerPress mini course. Thrilled to have you join the WPTuts community and embark on an exciting journey to master MailerPress, blah, 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 blah. So there we go. Now you'll see we've also got some additional options here. So we can adjust the tone, summarize this, summarize the content, expand it. We have a couple of things here that are, I'm assuming, written in French because I think SEOPress is a French company. So I've contacted them about this to see if that's something we can change inside the normal WordPress, or whether this is kind of like hard-coded into the plugin. Hopefully that'll be fixed soon. And if we like this, we can simply add this in. You can see that it's been added in, so we just quickly tidy this up. And there we go. We now have our welcome message, all being done through AI. Like I said, you click on the image, you'll see on the right-hand side, generate with AI. If you click on this, you can see we can ask it to generate. But also, like I say, I haven't put an API key inside here, so I'm not going to get access to that. But that's basically the AI integration at this point in time. You do need, like I say, to have your own dedicated APIs to be able to connect it up. But once it's connected, you should be good to go. And if you're using this on clients' websites, as long as they've got their own APIs, which again, you could set up as an additional service, then they can get access to using this. So that's pretty nifty. So we've seen how this all works. Let's come back out again. So there's our onboarding. We've got classic campaigns inside here and automated campaigns. So we don't have anything automated at the moment, but if we'd chosen that, like I've just shown you, they would be listed here. So that's the basics of campaigns. Templates, well, as we've name suggests, this is where we can see the templates. And as you can see, there's the ones we saw earlier on. And obviously we've got premium templates, your templates. So if you're creating your own templates, which again, you can do, you can save inside here. Integrations, this is where we can integrate it with various different form plugins, with WooCommerce and so on. Again, I would expect to see this grow to encapsulate more common, various different form plugins like Fluent Forms, WS Forms, and so on. I'm sure that will happen. You can integrate with WooCommerce, Paid Membership Pro, so some basic options there. And if you come into the settings, this is where we can configure all the different settings. So your general is going to give you a default sender, how you want to handle subscription pages and subscribe pages and so on. There's some default ones created for you, or you can use shortcodes and you can create your own and customize them. Your sign up confirmation, there's your confirmation email, which you can customize. And we've got these little short codes, these dynamic tags as they were, we can pull into the body of our content. This is all being done, but if you want to make changes, you absolutely can do. Your providers, this is going to be where it differentiates between the free and the pro version. The free version only gives you PHP mail and custom SMTP. Whereas if you have the premium version, it opens up additional options. So SendGrid, Gmail, Mailgun, and so on. So there's more options. Again, this should hopefully grow into a much broader campaign level of providers. Hopefully that we'll see that soon. Your bounce manager, how do you want to handle bounce receiver emails? Those kinds of options, so we can customize this. Your sending frequency, this is quite useful. Depending upon what you choose as your sending provider will dictate the settings inside you that are default. So for example, I've just got this set up to be using the normal WordPress PHP mail, which would be my email as part of my hosting. And as you can see, this will throttle this to 25 emails every 5 minutes, which is just over 7,000 emails a day. And if you want to, you can customize this. I would generally not recommend to push it over, but you may want to reduce it slightly. So you can see we may actually want to say that every 5 minutes, we only want to send 10 emails. And what frequency? We may say every 10 minutes. So it drops the number down, but it also should help you then not to kind of pee off your hosting provider that you're hammering your SMTP server. But like I say, generally, you really want to use a dedicated provider for this. But the options there should you want to use them. Save your settings, job done. AI settings. But I've connected this up to my API for my OpenAI or ChatGPT, but you do have Minstrel, DeepSeek, and Gemini inside you if you want to. And the same thing goes then if you want to use your image AI to generate images automatically. You've got Nano Banana supported at the moment. Again, hopefully this will roll out to more. And as you can see, we can choose which model. Again, hopefully we'll see these roll out to be more. White labeling options. This is where you can choose to activate the white labeling and you can set up how you want to use this. So if you were using this for clients, you could easily customize this to brand it your own way, so it's integral to your branding. And then finally, you've got your license. This is what we currently have right now. There are a couple of things that I want to draw your attention to that are not available yet, but they are on the roadmap. So if we have a look at the comparison between the free and the pro version, link to this is down below. It's just in the features section on the MailerPress website. You can see all the things you get for free. And as I mentioned, if you want sending with a premium service, so you don't want to use that SMTP service and so on, this is where you're going to need the pro version. And the AI is the same thing as well. Premium templates, mobile management, and so on. But the three things that I want to draw your attention to are the custom fields, automations, and webhooks. So the automation is going to mean that we can have multiple emails in a sequence, or this is what I hope it means, and we can automate the process. So we can set up rules and conditions and so on. For me, email marketing needs to have that to make it a truly useful and viable option. Otherwise, it's kind of limited to very simple use cases. Webhooks means we connect this up to external services. So you may want to set this up to external automation tools. That would be quite cool. And custom fields, I'm hoping this means that it's either support for custom fields or we'll be able to add our own custom fields of information into everything we have set up here. Overall, this is what we have right now. And while it's still a version 1.01, so it's a very early sort of release, I do feel confident that we're going to see those key features that we need to have included rolled out relatively soon based upon SEOPress and my use cases for them and working with them for the last 5+ years. So if you want to grab this, you can see there's the details underneath. The Black Friday deal is going to give you this for $99 plus your taxes for unlimited 100,000 websites. If you want something like this, you're looking for an email marketing platform and you don't necessarily want to have tons of things you may never use, you just want to focus specifically on your email marketing, this is one you may want to check out for yourself. As always, all applicable links are in the description below. If you have any comments, questions or feedback, drop them in the comment section. And until next time, take care.